Christian Bible Church, ladies and gentlemen, compatriots, fellow countrymen and women, allow me at the outset to convey to you my best wishes for the new year. The year 2005 will mark a year of peace, not only for the whole of Sudan, but equally throughout our sub-region and Africa as a whole. On this solemn day and occasion, I greet and salute all the people of Sudan, from Unity in the far south to Alpha in the far north, and from Kibera in the far west to Amasabrem and Port Sudan in the east. I greet and salute all the marginalized rural people of Sudan who have suffered in dignified silence for so long. I greet and salute all the farmers, workers, and professionals who are the creators of wealth, but who have no wealth, and who have seen their living conditions deteriorate over the years. I greet on the occasion of this week, that we have just signed, all the Sudanese women everywhere. Women in Sudan are elsewhere in the world are the marginalized of the marginalized. Who is suffering goes beyond the state. The Sudanese rural woman, for example, gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning to walk 5 kilometers, just to get 5 gallons of water. After 5 hours walk, spends another 5 hours working at the family farm, and 5 more hours getting the family meal. And then she goes to sleep. I needed to leave all our students on this occasion as a group of women,
Oh, I know now.
and all our youth who have borne
Okay.
the brunt of those 21 years of this war, and to all the
I think I need to do something with volume. Excuse me, I'll do that. Just a second.
in the post-conflict period. Compatriots, fellow countrymen and women, congratulations, Mabrouk, Mabrouk, Mabrouk. You are moving healthcare and Australia, and the National Congress Party government has delivered to you a comprehensive peace agreement. A just and honorable treaty, which we have signed today and which we have all witnessed. This is the best principle and national truth for the Sudanese people, to our nation, and to Africa for 2005. With this peace agreement, we have ended the longest war in Africa, the announcement of Civil War kicked off in 1965, out of 50 years of our independence. And if you add the 11 years of Anyanyatu, then Sudan has been at war within itself for 49 years, which is the whole of that period. With this peace agreement, the SPLM and the National Congress Party government have brought half a century of war to a dignified end. Congratulations. With this peace agreement, there will be no more bombs At the political level, this peace agreement affirms the right of self-determination for the people of Southern Sudan and the right of popular consultation for the people of the Nuba Mountains and Blue Nile, so that the unity of the Sudan becomes based on the free will of the people instead of on wars and the forced and false unity of the last 49 years. This peace agreement will change the Sudan forever. Sudan cannot and will never be the same again, as this peace agreement will engulf the country in democratic and fundamental transformation instead of being engulfed in wars as it has always been for the last 184 years since 1821, when our country was first invaded by outside powers and exposed to the ravages of the slave trade and predatory commerce of all sorts, and since before independence from 1955 in civil wars. This peace agreement coincides with the Sudan's 49th independence celebration, and I agree with what President Bashir said on 31st December in Naivasha, when we signed the last two documents of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, that Sudan's independence on 1st January 1956 was not complete because there was war in the south. The war we are ending today first broke out in Torit on August 18, 1955, 4 months before independence. And so the South, like other marginalized parts of the Sudan, were really not part of that independence.
Same late night snack. Same cheese makes everything taste better.
With this peace agreement, we begin the process of achieving real independence by all Sudanese people and for all the Sudanese people. The signing of this comprehensive peace agreement thus marks the end of what I would correctly call the first republic of the old Sudan that has lasted 49 years from 1st January 1956 to 31st December 2004, when we signed the last two agreements on comprehensive ceasefire and implementation modalities. And at a personal note, exactly 42 years to the date when I first left Sudan for the bush on December 31st, 1962, to join the First War. I hope I will not go to the bush again. This peace agreement therefore signals the beginning of Sudan's Second Republic of the New Sudan. From here on, Sudan for the first time will be a country voluntarily united in justice, honor, and dignity for all its citizens, regardless of their race, regardless of their religion, regardless of their gender, or else, if the country fails to rise to this challenge of moving away from the old Sudan to the new Sudan of free and equal citizens, then the union shall be dissolved amicably and peacefully through the right of self-determination at the end of the 6 years of the interim period. I call on the Sudanese people to join this peace agreement, to join the SPLM and the National Congress Party in the peace process, because this peace agreement belongs to them. It does not belong to John Garang or the SPLM leadership. It does not belong to Ali Osman Taha or President Bashir or to the National Congress Party. This agreement belongs to all of the Sudan, to its neighbors, to Africa, to the Arab world, and indeed to the rest of the world. That is why you see this big attendance today, because this peace belongs to all of them. Although the comprehensive peace agreement was negotiated by two parties as a matter of necessity and practicality in order to end the war in the first place, and now that the war is ended, I call on all the Sudanese people and our political forces to build consensus around the comprehensive peace agreement and use it to end war in other parts of Sudan and to relaunch the Sudan to the promised land of the new Sudan of progress and equality of opportunity for all Sudanese citizens without distinction. Finally, and not least, I salute all our martyrs and wounded heroes on both sides. I salute and congratulate all officers, NCOs, and soldiers on both sides of the conflict for their heroic sacrifices. I pay tribute and thank our civil population who provided the logistics for the war, especially those in the SPLM administered areas, for without their contribution, this comprehensive peace agreement would not have been possible.
Are vegans healthy? Are vegetarians healthy? French fries and beer are vegan.
It is because of the role played by our civil population in the long war that we have invited some 50 chiefs and traditional leaders representing our civil society at the grassroots. We have also invited the SPLM military band to represent the SPLA rank and file. On this joyous occasion of the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, and as you will recall that the SPLA has always released prisoners of war, we have released so far more than 3,000 prisoners of war at various times over the last 21 years. I here, as of today, order the immediate release of all prisoners of war that are still under the custody of and care of the SPLA. It is fitting, as we celebrate this momentous historical landmark, to pause to remember the thousands of fellow human beings who recently perished in both Asia and Africa in one of the planet's worst natural disasters of the modern era. Our hearts pour out in grief and solidarity to the peoples of Southeast Asia in this hour of tragedy in the hands of a merciless earthquake and tsunami. As we share the pain and suffering of our fellow human beings in all the countries that have been devastated by the earthquake and the accompanying tsunamis or tidal waves, we also urge the international community, after it has pledged so generously to help alleviate the suffering and rebuild shattered lives in the affected region, to spare some resources to help post-conflict Sudan recover and develop. We therefore look forward to a massive turnout of donors with their pledges at the prospective Oslo Donors Conference for Sudan, which is scheduled soon. Excellencies, compatriots, fellow citizens, in order to understand and appreciate the present historical moment of the signing of the Sudan Comprehensive Peace Agreement, I beg your indulgence to allow me to talk briefly about the problem that we are solving now, and to which President Museveni referred to before as the problem of people with the turbines and people with ostrich feathers. As I said before, Sudan has been at war within itself for the whole of 49 years of its independence. And as we end this war today, another serious one is intensifying in the western Darfur region, while another threatens in eastern Sudan. Why? What is the problem? Why should a community subject itself to generations of war and suffering in so many parts of the country? In our view, the attempt by various Khartoum-based regimes since 1956 to build a monolithic Arab Islamic state to the exclusion of other parameters of the Sudanese diversity constitutes the fundamental problem of the Sudan and defines the Sudanese conflict. The Sudanese state hitherto has excluded the vast majority of the Sudanese people from governance and therefore their marginalization in the political, economic, and social fields. This provoked resistance by the excluded. There have been wars and there continues to be wars in the Sudan simply because the majority of the Sudanese are not stakeholders in governance. The solution to the fundamental problem of Sudan is to evolve an all-inclusive Sudanese state, which we have called the New Sudan, a new Sudanese political dispensation in which all Sudanese are equally stakeholders, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their race, tribe, or gender. And if this does not work, then to look for other solutions, such as splitting the country. But we believe that a new Sudan is possible. For there are many people in Northern Sudan who share with us in the SPLM-SPLA, including the National Congress Party, who believe in the universal ideals of humanity, the ideals of liberty, of freedom, justice, and equality of opportunity for all Sudanese citizens.
Which works better for getting rid of nail fungus, apple cider vinegar or tea tree oil? Most doctors tell patients to.
As is the case in the South, the events in Darfur, Eastern Sudan, and elsewhere have made it clear that we must have an all-inclusive Sudanese state at the national level and full devolution of power to the various regions of the Sudan. For otherwise, it is unlikely that the country would stand a chance of remaining united. But this all-inclusive Sudanese state, which we have called the New Sudan, must have some basis, for example, in history, that makes us one country or one nation. The question is whether there is a basis for the Sudan as a country. And my answer has always been yes, there is. That is, this affirmative answer to this question has guided us and sustained the SPLM for the last 21 years until today. For this purpose, I've always wanted to go down the corridors of history. And I want to do this very briefly, again making your indulgence and taking it for that matter. I'm a gorilla, I take my time, you see. Our presentation in the SPLM is that we, the Sudanese, are indeed a historical people, and that the new Sudan has an anchor in history. If we cannot find an anchor in history, then we either create one or dissolve the union peacefully. Sometimes it is necessary to go back in order to gain momentum, in order to go forward. President Museveni called it something in his language. That is why you see sheep, you see rams moving backwards first when they fight. They gain momentum before they lock horns. Recently in Southeast Asia, it was noticed that the tragedy of the earthquake and the tsunamis, first the sea receded back and then came forward with a devastating force. We very much need to do this exercise in the Sudan, to go back thousands of years so as to rediscover ourselves, gain momentum, and then move forward with the momentum of 5,000 years to propel ourselves and smash ourselves into history once again. And we have a very long history indeed. Peoples and kingdoms have lived, thrived, and disappeared in the geographical area that constitutes the present modern Sudan.
Same late night cheese craving. Same
Many people will be surprised that in the Bible, in the Old Testament, the Sudan was part of the Garden of Eden. Where it is stated in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 to 14, that the Garden of Eden was watered by 4 rivers. One of them is the White Nile. It is a picture in the Bible. The other one is the Gihon, and there's the Gihon Hotel in Addis Ababa. It is the Blue Nile. And to the east by the Tigris and the Euphrates. So the Garden of Eden was not a small vegetable garden. It was a vast piece of territory. My own village happens to be just east of the Nile, so I fall in the Garden of Eden. It will surprise many of you that the Prophet Moses was married to a Sudanese named Zipporah, as narrated in the book of Numbers. From the biblical days, we move to the ancient Sudanese kingdoms of Awad, of Erekat, of Anu, of Maida, that are believed to be connected with the present day Dinka, Shuluk, Nuer, other Nilotic tribes, and the peoples of Central and Western Sudan. And up the corridors of history, we move to the kingdom of Marawi, that bequeathed and spread iron civilization to the rest of Africa. Marawi got transformed into the Christian kingdoms of Nubia. They then followed the spread of Islam and Arab migration into the Sudan and the subsequent collapse of the last Nubian Christian kingdom of Makuria, Alawa, and Soba in 1504, followed by the rise on the ashes of the Islamic kingdom of Sinar, which was founded by the Funch and the Chuluk people. The rest of Sudanese history is familiar to all of us, from the Islamic kingdoms of Sinar to the Turco-Egyptian occupation, to the first Islamic Mahadist state, to the Anglo-Egyptian condominium, to independence in 1956, and to the Anyanya movement of 1955 to 1972, to the SPLA in 1983, to the second Islamic state in the Sudan of the Ingal, with which we negotiated from 1989, and to the comprehensive peace agreement which we signed today. This is the history of the Sudan, and this is how we got here. It has been a long journey of more than 5,000 years to reach Naivasha and Nyayo Stadium today. It is important to know and appreciate where we came from in order to better be able to chart the way forward with the momentum of historical force. That was Sudan in history. As for the contemporary Sudan, we have more than 500 different ethnic groups, speaking more than 130 different languages. We have two major religions in the country, Islam and Christianity, and traditional African religions.
I lost 37 pounds with Noom. I'm 70 and I can parade around on the beach in a two-piece.
Our contention in the SPLM-SPLA is that the Sudan belongs equally to all the people that now inhabit the country. And its history, its diversity and richness is the common heritage of all Sudanese. The comprehensive peace agreement that we have signed today is based on these historical and contemporary objective realities of Sudan. And by implementing the provisions of the comprehensive peace agreement that we have signed today, we shall evolve an all-inclusive form of governance that ensures that all Sudanese are equal stakeholders, irrespective of where they come from. And this is what will keep our country together. Furthermore, by adapting and applying the form of governance and wealth-sharing arrangements stipulated in the comprehensive peace agreement to other parts of the country with similar afflictions as the South, such as Darfur, Eastern Sudan, and other parts of the country, we can once again become a great nation that is voluntarily united in diversity rather than divided by diversity and possibly kept under a coerced and fair unity. This is the context and the value of the comprehensive peace agreement we have signed today. It provides the Sudan with a rare and perhaps the last opportunity to make a real paradigm shift from the old Sudan of exclusivity to the new Sudan of inclusivity, achieved not through force, but through the exercise of the right of self-determination. Viewed this way, the right of self-determination, which is one of the cornerstones of the comprehensive peace agreement, is a blessing rather than a curse, as many northern Sudanese fear. I want to assure you that we will all work together with the National Congress Party and other political forces in the Sudan so that we develop a new paradigm so that we keep our country together. Excellencies, distinguished guests, compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me, I'm almost finished. The transformation which shall be engendered by this agreement, to which I have alluded to, shall be reflected first and foremost in democratic mutation, and to which the SPLM is fully committed. Surely by democratic, we do not mean return to the sham procedural democracy of the past, which was but a camouflage for the perpetuation of vested interests. In that sham democracy, civil rights were subject to the whims of rulers. The majority of Sudanese in the regions remained peripheral to the center of power and was treated as an expendable quantum only to be manipulated through political trickery and double dealing. Transformation envisaged in the comprehensive peace agreement puts an end to all that, since it represents a political and socio-economic paradigm shift which entails recognition of political diversity by guaranteeing full freedom for political pluralism, the entrenchment of human rights and people's rights in the Constitution, the upholding of the independence of the judiciary, including the creation of an inviolable constitutional court and commitment to the rule of law by the government and the governed, and the establishment of a truly independent and competent civil service at all levels of government. It also conceptualizes and seeks to realize a recreation of the legislature in a manner that shall ensure rigorous checks and balances and guarantees powers to the government of Southern Sudan and to the states, powers which can neither be withdrawn nor impaired by other centers of power. Eventually, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement ordains that within a maximum of 3 to 4 years, governance at all levels shall be mandated by the supreme will of the people through internationally monitored free and fair elections. Excellencies, distinguished guests, compatriots, ladies and gentlemen, the long war to which we have put an end to today impoverished our citizens and reduced our country with tremendous resources to destitution.
Same late night snack. Same cheese makes everything taste better.
Without claiming that the new economic paradigm shift to which I have alluded to is the ultimate panacea for curing the nation's ills, it provides at least a vision and modalities to address the problems besetting the nation in the here and now, while I leave the world hereafter to those who claim to have divine qualifications. In Southern Sudan and other war-affected areas, as well as in the slums of our major cities, the baseline from which we shall start development is shocking and I will not bore you here with the statistics of the status of these parameters such as prevalence of child malnutrition, primary education, mortality rates among children, rate of maternal mortality, rate of birth attended by skilled health staff, access to improved water sources. This is statistics in Southern Sudan in particular and other war-affected areas are among the worst in the world. To combat this pervasive and humiliating poverty and political disenfranchisement, a general policy framework has been charted out and published in a booklet entitled SPLM Strategic Framework for War to Peace Transition. In summary, the SPLM shall articulate and implement a social, political, and economic development strategy and programs that include the following highlights. First, the SPLM shall adopt an economic development paradigm that emphasizes growth through rural development and transformation of traditional agriculture that is integrated with agro-industries. We must transform the present subsistence traditional agriculture in Southern Sudan and other areas through technological innovations, making agriculture the engine of growth, and agriculture as the engine of growth will literally be fueled by oil. The building of dikes for flood control and canals and underground water development for irrigation will be priorities to guarantee crop production. Secondly, the SPLM will change the urban bias and center-focused development paradigm in favor of rural and decentralized development. The SPLM vision, policy, and slogan shall be to take the towns to people in the countryside rather than people to towns, where they end up in slums, as happens in many countries, with a consequent deterioration in their quality of life.
Are vegans healthy? Are vegetarians healthy? French fries and beer are vegan.
Rural to small town planning and rural electrification will therefore be priorities. Thirdly, the SPLM shall emphasize and develop new ways of delivery of social services. As we move to the new era of peace, the people of Sudan, particularly in the war-affected communities, face formidable social and economic problems and also tremendous opportunities. The major problems that require immediate attention fall in the areas of health, education, and water. We must find new ways to rapidly and efficiently deliver these services. For example, constructing windmills all over rural Sudan to provide clean drinking water and build micro dams for generating small-scale hydroelectric power for rural towns, and as well as the use of solar, wind, and biomass energy sources. Fourthly, the SPLM shall exert all efforts to build physical infrastructure, roads, rail, and river transport and telecommunications. There has never been any tarmac road in the New Sudan since creation, since the days of Adam and Eve. And this is an area the size of Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi put together. The SPLM vision for transport infrastructure is at 3 levels: to develop regional linkages within Southern Sudan and with the neighbors and with Northern Sudan, and to involve the state and local communities in this infrastructure building. Fifthly and finally, in terms of social and cultural parameters, the SPLM shall adopt strategies and programs that shall restore and achieve dignity of people of the Sudan through social and cultural empowerment. Programs will include information and media, radio, TV, print, promotion of New Sudan art, songs, dances, theater of New Sudan, sports, development of local languages and cultures by the various communities of the Sudan, archives of the struggle and modern history of Sudan, archaeology, antiquities, and ancient history of Sudan, Africa, and the Middle East, so that we can find our rightful place in the world. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement and safeguard full compliance with the requirements of the agreement. The SPLM will work in partnership with the National Congress Party. The objectives of this partnership is to ensure a sincere implementation of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement in both letter and spirit, and to provide, within the parameters of this agreement, permanent solutions to the problems inherent in Sudan's cultural, social, and political diversity.
Hey, so this is a brand new high-tech way to instantly cool down any room in your home, no matter how hot it is outside, and even if you have zero AC in your home.
Failure to appreciate the wealth in diversity was another cause of national crisis. For diversity, viewed positively, is a mutually enriching phenomenon and ultimately a source of national cohesion and strength. Viewed otherwise, that is, as a source of dissimilarity or distinction, it shall lead inevitably to the ultimate disintegration of the country as threatened today, and which, at all costs, we must avoid. Furthermore, the partnership does not mean abandonment of political allies by any of the two parties. However, this partnership, while safeguarding the new political dispensation, shall in effect nurture the democratic transformation and political multiplicity, which by their very nature may lead to diverse alliances. But so long as those alliances are based on commitment to the letter and spirit of the peace agreement that will put an end to the longest war in Africa, alliances become assets, not liabilities. It is our submission that political struggle in the Sudan shall henceforth translate into competing visions of peace, progress, and development, and never into the use of force or the threat of the use of force. The SPLM, ladies and gentlemen, will ensure that the new political dispensation is wide enough to accommodate all legitimate political and social forces in the country. It is therefore our hope to achieve popular consensus on those agreements. As the movement that has been fighting against marginalization of others, we shall not tolerate the exclusion of anybody from this process. The parties to the Comprehensive Peace Agreement share this conviction, and we have included in the agreement inclusiveness. In this regard, the SPLM will play its role at the national level to work with the National Congress Party and other political forces to ensure full inclusiveness. While the SPLM and the National Congress Party shall be major partners in the initial interim government of national unity, our understanding of partnership is well rooted in inclusiveness, which means to bring on board all political forces in the Sudan, chief among them the political parties within the National Congress Party umbrella and the political parties within the National Democratic Alliance, which we call upon to complete negotiations with the government of Sudan based on the Jeddah agreement that are holding negotiations in Cairo, and so that they take
that I share in the government of national unity and participate fully in all the national commissions stipulated in the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, especially the National Constitution Review Commission. Finally, on issues that concern Southern Sudanese, I want to say a little on South-South dialogue. On building national consensus, the SPLM will also spearhead the South
All right. Welcome to Lake State Media. I am your host, Peter Kenny. Happy Martyrs Day to all of us. Uh, what a sad day. Again, thanks everyone. Welcome to Lake State Media again, and thank you for watching the video. Uh, this is how we should remind ourselves and how to celebrate the people that actually laid their soul for us to have a place in this world, a place that we call home, a place that we call a nation, the country of South Sudan. So there is no politics tonight. If you want to add politics in, I will not be surprised because everything is politicized in South Sudan, especially among ourselves as South Sudanese. So I'm going to share the link. All I wanted to hear, how do we continue with the dream and to make sure the dream is alive? All right, here is the link. Like I said, uh, to celebrate and to remember our heroes and our martyrs is simple. How do we remember them and how do we keep the dream alive? So I have shared the link. Let me pin the link for a second, just in case people miss it. Okay. Yes, the link has already been pinned. And I'm going to ask all of you tonight, those who will actually join the panel here, a simple question. Do we all have to be a leaders in South Sudan to actually keep the dream alive? If you think so, why? Is being a leader in South Sudan, is that the only alternative? I don't know. Because in entire South Sudan, even here in the West, there is nothing that we are all expert in it unless being a politician, and also the only occupation that we know is being a leader in South Sudan. So when you join the show, remember I'm going to ask you that. Is that the only thing that will change entire South Sudan, or do we have another alternative way? All right. If there is nobody interested, if you or people have no idea how to keep the dream alive, the link is not working. Okay, I'm going to try to pin it again. I don't know why. I'm sure the link is working. Let me try to open it myself on the other end. Yeah, that's good. It's gonna cause echoing for myself because I tried to join. Yes, absolutely. The link is working. Okay. Uh, there are two links. If you are watching through Facebook, well, you have to click the one with the red. If you are watching through YouTube, no, if you are watching through YouTube, you click the one with the red. Otherwise, you click the other link with the Facebook image because uh, we are live both on YouTube and Facebook as well. Okay. Let me get out of here. Hello, Brother Isaac. Welcome to Lake State Media. How is it going in Australia?
Thank you so much, Brother Peter, and our audience who are watching this show. Thank you so much. It's a very great day that we have to reflect, and we have to come and give respect to our fallen heroes and heroines. So thank you so much, Brother Peter, for this show. We have celebrated yesterday because we are ahead of you of time zone.
I know, right?
I'm happy also to join you. If you can allow me to play some music little while to give a respect, especially the SPLA, some musical music. If you like, I can go ahead with it.
I will send the link to your inbox. I'll send the link to your inbox, Gabriel. Just hang on. Go ahead. Play the music, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving me that time, and thank you all the audience, the viewers who are watching the show. Today, as Brother Peter put it, is a very special day, and to give the respect to your loved one, because we each and individuals of South Sudanese or as Sudanese has lost the loved one during this armed struggle, which has taken almost 40 years. So we just have to celebrate the life of those who put their life online, and those also who has lost their life in a cause that wouldn't cause their life to go. So I give a respect to them, and I would like to call for a minute of silence, if we can do that before we continue the show. Peter. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. May God rest the soul of those who lost their life, and bless the orphans, widows, and widowers, wounded people, disabled, those who lost limbs, and they remain um in such a unbelievable to describe person, how he is being deformed by the war. So thank you so much. May Almighty God bless you. May Almighty God bless South Sudan and all the citizens of South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Isaac. Like everybody else, I'm going to ask this simple question. So, how do we keep the dream alive? Is only being a leader in South Sudan, whether a president, member of parliament, or is it the only way to keep the dream alive? Or do we have to do something different other than just politics or being a leader in South Sudan?
Um, the you see, the war has ended as the time when people took arms to. There were so many things which were the main target of the taking arms in Sudan in general. By then, we have achieved the main objectives of secession as the country. We are a sovereign country now. Um, but the things which are happening in our country at the moment, they were not part of what we were fighting for. And our leaders, most or majority of them, they still having a mentality of the guerrilla ideas. Welcome, Majid. So it will take a time for all of us or the country to be stable, to be in peace, a respect of humanity, which is human rights and democratic leadership, fairness, nepotism, and all this stuff. They will go away, but will take a time, not so soon. I'm not expecting it to change as soon as quick we were expecting it, because it's really a tragedy for us. And what made it to be the worst is education. Education it plays a lot of role. So I think.
Brother Isaac, I have to disagree with you, but continue. I will tell you why I disagree with you.
Okay, continue. Girl, come with it.
Okay, I want you to elaborate more when you say education. What do you mean?
What I mean, education has a key. If you are educated, you will be having a broadened mind that you can even look up the other countries, how they are maintaining the things, and socially, politically, economics, how you can invest. There are a lot of things. If we go through education, will take us furthermore, which is really would be a long debate if we talk about that. But currently, most of the people, the corruption is playing a big role in our country. You can be given a position or a post that you are not qualified for it. You have no experience. You just assume that job. But if you haven't, if you don't have an idea of what you are doing, then you are doing nothing. That portfolio is there for the sake of the names. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to elaborate here. But I'm a bit cautious because today is a sad day, as we put it. We don't need to go further for political issues. We will talk about this. We will having a show. We will be having a show to discuss more about all these things. So how we have agreed about that, you can come up with, and just give me a little bit of what you think about. Thank you.
Well, the thing is, this is where I differ with you when you say education. Currently in South Sudan, I don't think education matters anymore, because what happened is no matter how much you get educated, whether you become a scientist, whether you become engineering, whether you become a doctor, the only best thing you can do if you want to be a leader in South Sudan.
Mm.
You are not going to practice being a doctor. You are not going to practice being an engineer, build something. You are not going to practice being a scientist and at least find uh, find something that you have studied. So it seems like the only hope is that you go to school no matter how much you want to do what you want to school for, the only result that will come out with you is trying to be a leader in South Sudan. How is this relevant with education then?
That's what I said, because of um, leadership, the hunger of leadership is the worst thing in our country. Everybody need to be a leader. You need to lead on the same time, and the other one is racing. And instead of doing it in the right way, that you have to get lobbies, be appointed, or you can come by democratic way. So other people, they have to come through corruption, or you can rebel. If you are rejected, if you fail to get that post, you have to go in the bush, or you rebel to the government, give yourself high rank, and when you come back after negotiation, you remain with that rank of yours. And this is what has screwed up the system in the country. That's what I think. That's what I know. And if there are other people who can agree with me or disagree, they can send in their comments or join us on in this beautiful show of Martyrs Day. Largin, Mala Medid Garma.
Mala Isaac, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you all right?
Very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Brother Dol Argent, welcome to Lake State Media. Happy Martyrs Day. What do you remember, and how do you think we can keep the dream alive?
Yeah, we, first of all, I wanted to say hi to Isaac and you, Peter, and the audience. It's really a great day. We remember the martyrs, those who died. Some of them actually, they die with the cause, and some of them actually, they die for no cause at all. Some of them did not know what they are doing, and some of them, they were fighting against their own brothers. And that sometimes, it tells me when I review the whole history and the formation of the struggle, I look like there is actually a kind of selfishness in the formation, and there was also unclear vision within the SPLA, because some of the general really, they did great in the struggle, and others, were actually, they were worse than the enemy itself when we were in the struggle. And the reason, is nobody research about this, and I know a lot of people, later on, they are going to know the truth. And I know they will find out the truth. What happened is that during the formation of the SPLA in Biel Farm, there was already Anyanya 2. Anyanya 2 was already in Biel Farm. Anyanya 2, they were calling for independence of South Sudan, which is actually what we actually have right now. And then those when those who were with the Arab, those who actually signed initially the Addis Ababa peace agreement, and they were with Sudan government. So they start joining Anyanya too. And finally, when Garang joined, it was actually worse than ever, because there was a division, and Garang was calling for Sudan United, or the new Sudan, what you so call it, while there was people already calling for independence of South Sudan. So this brought a lot of confusion during the formation of the movement, and for me, it actually stepped the movement backward, because at that time we were progressing, and there was people joining. They were willing, more willingness. Because of that, you know.
No.
I know sometimes you have a problem, I don't know. I think maybe we need time to debate on this, because, some of you guys, it seems like you don't understand even how SPLA come about. If you listen to those videos from John Garang, it's very clear that there was Anyanya 2, those of Benson Point, those of those of Gordon Kong, those of Samuel Guy, those of other people who were in Bill Farm. And what happened, the arrival of Garang, the arrival of John Garang, actually is the problem itself.
Let him continue.
It's not a problem. It was the solution. Let me tell you why is the problem. Two things. One, it actually make the people to kind of have a confusion, because they believe in independence of source from the north. So John Garang came with an idea which is not clear to the people. You see? So why do we say it's not problem? And then it caused a war, because every time when people differ, it is actually a war. So what happened is that there was a war in Bill Farm, and within that war, and then it lead to a tribal kind of, especially when Gaitud was killed. Later on, Kerbino was in Bilpam, and Kerbino went and slaughtered anybody who is a Nuer man in Bilpam. So it was seen as a tribal war, actually. So that's why sometimes I say, history repeats itself. And people, history, if it is not corrected, it can repeat itself anytime within any generation. And that's why sometimes I'm talking with people of South Sudan, trying to actually identify the problem and try to correct them. So the issue of Bill Farm in '94 is what actually repeated itself in 2013. Because when Gaitud left, I think in '84, it's '84, it was '84. So now in '84, when Gaitud was killed because of whether disagreement, whether it is independent of South Sudan or whether it is leadership, what happened is that when those group actually left Bill Farm, they were chased out, and Gaitud was killed outside. Now there was some Nuer who was left in Bill Farm, and I know I have a list of them, a long list. So those people, they were killed in blood, actually in cold blood, and Kerbino was responsible for actually shooting, even himself. He was shooting using the pistol. That was not okay, and the people fell. Most of the Nuer outside who went with Akwadatem, they end up, people were actually even Kwadatem. Maybe it's not Kwadatem alone. Maybe some of the Denka that went with Kwadatem, they were killed simply because they heard there was a killing going on in Bill Farm. The same thing what happened in Juba, and when we fought in Tiger, I was in the special forces, the Tiger division in Juba. So when we fought in the Tiger division, those Denka have gun and we, the Nuer, have gun. So when we left the Juba, then the Nuer were killed. Is it not repeating? Is it not something repeating? You see how history repeats itself. But if we have talked about it and we correct it, it will not repeat itself. But the more, the more...
Lord John.
Okay, can I come in? Please?
Yeah, I will give you a minute. Let me conclude here. Let me conclude.
Let me interrupt you. Let
me conclude here. So what I'm saying here, my point is this.
Don.
Yeah.
What is mean today?
Sorry?
What happened on the 30th of July? let me remember what happened to South Sudanese in the 30th of July. I think it is the only topic. We are not going back to the history. Let me verify our
look at the people. You know, let me tell you, my brothers and sisters here.
All of them.
The more you don't talk about this thing, is the more we are not going to know them. Okay, we will not know them. Even generation will not know them. And the more you don't know them, you are likely to repeat them, and then you think they are good.
All right. The more we talk something that is not the reality or the truth, the worse the country will fall apart. If we talk realities, if we preach the truth, we will unite.
Yeah?
You are clear now.
ايوه لا كلنا عايزين نتذكر ده نضال الحركه الشعبيه including division within الحركه الشعبيه كلهم دارين يعملوا لهم يونايت اسمه يهيد شهداء
شكرا جزيلا.
يبي عشان تتذكر الهيستوري to create the feeling. You will create again the feeling. تحياتنا لشهداء جنوب السودان في درب النضال واخرهم القائد والرئيس والمؤسسه الدوله الجنوبيه الاخير دكتور جون جراند مابيو يذكرهم مع اخوان اللي ماتوا في طريق النضال من اجل الحريه والعداله. بس
شكرا
كل ما يذكرهم. نحن ما ماشيين على سياسات للهيستوري. الناس again يذكر الناس again by bad feeling.
I think Gabriel has a problem in network. Your network.
Celebrating all of them.
Before you come in, Peter and Dwal.
Master Peter.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dwal, for expressing your side view. What I need to put here across, I think I have advised you yesterday when I was doing my show, because here in Australia was 30th. Like today now is we are on Friday on date 31. And when I was doing my show, you came up with such idea. I cannot disagree with you or agree with you in these days. This is the Martyrs days. It's a very special event that we have to give the respect for all, for every fallen hero, everyone who dies, whether your death is through bullets or is a disease or is a hunger, you also will count you as a martyrs of South Sudanese. So this day, we don't need to talk about the political issues, political differences, what happened in Bill Farm, disagreement between the Anyanya 2 and the SPLM, formation of SPLA, SPLM. These things with the Dr. Ding Deng, yesterday, he is requesting to have another day that we can discuss this issue. Because you need to answer you, I cannot answer you now in this day properly unless we go to another show after a celebration of Martyrs Day, and we will discuss it. We will put that topic as a political issue.
Look here, right there. Yeah. Look here, right. You know what I'm saying here. My point. What I'm trying to say to tell our people here is that
I didn't.
It's not everybody. You know, when we honor people, we honor people because of values that they have shown to the country, the love of the country, the love of the people.
You have gone.
And then we cannot honor maybe people who kill us. For example, how can we honor Salva Kiir? Even if he struggle, if he kill 30,000 people of our own people.
That is
if we honor that, do we need to honor that?
Today we are not here to discuss.
Okay, look here. listen.
We are not here for the what has happened. These are all
that is what we are talking.
No,
you
no,
know, the whole of the heroes, we give it to people who really struggle in movement.
James, please be educated person, be an adult, and live as you are living in Western world. You have to know the way that you can handle the things. If there's somebody expressed to you that put this aside and we will discuss it another time, like an assignment, please don't go beyond that point. There's no way we can talk about it today. Who is wrong? Who has done what? That is not the reason we are here. We are here for those who has died, including those who has been killed in 2013 crisis. They are all martyrs. That's why we are here, to celebrate their life. But we are not here to blame who did what and who has done what. Understand me? Yeah.
You know, Isaac, we can say that we remember them.
Hang on one second.
Yes, Peter.
Hang on one second.
Go ahead.
Let me throw a circle out there that, okay, you know, there were people actually that killed people, that they did it without no cause. Now, but for particular, those who actually had a cause and they have killed people, where do we go from here? How do we keep their dream alive instead of telling the story? Let's say, yes, we know the story. That's happened. So what I'm trying to narrow down here is to make sure not go through beyond telling that back story of what happened and what did not happen, who actually is hero and who is not hero. The question is simple. How do we keep the dream alive for those who are hero, if they're aware? And of course they're aware, that's why we have a country which is South Sudan. How do you keep that dream alive? At the Largen, what do you do now? You are going to you want to be a president now. What do you do to keep the dream alive?
Yeah, you know what?
South Sudan bear the fruits that that they fought for. You say for you now, I know you have studied for leaders. Okay, you want to be a leader in South Sudan. Is that being a leader in South Sudan is only alternative? Could you have done something different actually to make that dream alive as a person, as the Largen, instead of wanting to be a leader in South Sudan?
Yeah, you know, basically, you know, if you look at me, you know, myself, I consider myself that I was actually struggling so much for the love of our country and the love of our people. Right when I graduated from United States, one of the university in the US, Iowa State, where John Garang graduated, I went back to the country. And when I went back to the country, none of those who are claiming to be doctors in Juba, they never did what I did to our country. I was a professor, several universities in Juba, inside Juba. I contributed in the army for building the nation. And I know what I was doing. I was applying my skill, my knowledge to the country, to build the country. But unfortunately, I didn't have power to work things. And people were using gunpowder. And then I thought gunpowder time is gone. But we just see it, gunpowder time was actually working up to now. And that is why, you know, right now, in my own capacity, what I'm doing, I'm trying to educate people for the truth, for the real nation building, how nation can start from the scratch. Nation is not about power sharing, and it's not about leadership, actually. Okay? Nation building is about justice. It's about being actually fair to each other. You cannot tell me now that John Garang, we fought under him as a leader. Now his wife is going to be leader, his son is going to be. That one alone can kill a lot of people. You cannot tell me now those of Salva Kiir and Riek Machar is okay for them to employ their family, their wife, and it's still okay. This is ridiculous. You are misleading the country. You are killing the country because you lack knowledge to judge things. You don't know what is right and you don't know what what is justice and you don't know what is fair. And that is why, the nation will break into pieces because of lack of knowledge.
But shouldn't you be grateful that the part actually to let you have a country and a voice that you want to be a leader in South Sudan, regardless of what circumstance has taken place?
Yeah, first of all, and that's why sometimes when I talk about how the country actually got into mess and how to fix it. But because people have been
right, but you have to be grateful, right?
What is that? You cannot. One thing. No. You can. Well, if a lot of people, like if I'm a leader, and a lot of people die in my leadership, whether I did not shoot them, I will not be grateful for that. Because it is wrong, not justice. And that is why,
let me ask you a question.
We should revise even why we have a country. We need to review everything about why actually for the first place we are having this. Because you know what? The problem is this. The idea of South Sudan to be independent, it was actually created by a Pew group in Anyanya 1 and Anyanya 2, and then the SPLA folk grab it. They don't have that idea. So it's not their thinking. It's not their, so they try to implement.
Look, you are only particularly interested in the history of South Sudan, okay? And if that's the case, first of all, nobody will ever deny that Anyanya 2 were there outside, okay? And that's a fact. You know that. But the SPLA actually bring the real dream of fighting for South Sudan.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I'm not arguing whether Anyanya 2. What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying SPLA.
Maybe you need to know clearly that Anyanya 2 was actually failed. There was no alternative. They were just out there because they are outside of the bush. But they did not have a roadmap to where we are today. The fact that Magiso was not ready for Sudan to be divided into two. You know that. And it was all the African country was against the breaking down of African countries. That was clearly not.
Don't let me ask you a question. I have a question to
Gambia. Hang on, Gambia. Gabriel, hang on a second. Clearly, there was no any country in Africa is going to support Anyanya 2, and that's why they were there. Okay,
and that's what Mengistu Mariam told the South Sudanese rebels, both the new recruits, the new Tiger Utimsa, Mia Warba, Mia Wakamsa, and Anyanya 2. That please, I need only one leadership to support. I can guarantee you to give you a border here where you can train your recruits. So when they come to the agreement table, everybody is want to be a leader, but ideology. That's why I said, you see, Dol, I'm happy to discuss this with you in a different day, not today, because today I put it aside. I have a lot of history, how the SPLM came up, how they will have disagreement between Anyanya 2 and the recruits, and why the 16 May occurred, how it happened. You should go back to look into these stories. I gave you a little bit last time that before 16 May, it was not planned to rebel to go in the bush. You understand? But when it is covered, the government has discovered this, that the movement going around, mutiny is going to happen. This is where Carbino has started it to start. They don't need to be captured alive. They fight. And I was already in the bush. We will talk about this anyway.
Let me ask Dollar John. And I Salas. Are you happy this day to be remembered? Did you agree with us? Okay, if you are agree, let me remember this day only. Let me remember our heroes has been lost. All right, they sacrificed their life for independence of South Sudan. Please leave the history of how did the movement was started, when they stole it out, when the movement shifted from who to who. Leave it for another day. Then we remember our heroes from Anyanya 1 up to last the death of John Garang only. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is what we want. Please.
Yeah. You know,
from Anyanya 1 up to last the death of John Garang. That was we concerned about it.
Gabriel, you know, we need to get the understanding of what is remembering, how you remember people according to your own culture. I think there must be some understanding on how we remember it. Simply, if a family member die, whether it's not from government or from, there is a way that there are some cultural or spiritual way how to remember that person. And usually, you know, is if it is just a remembering, people talk about that person, whether they did something good or they did something right. And that is, in a government way, that is how we should remember all the heroes. If they did something good, did something wrong, we all talk about it.
I ask you one question, Dol Largen. I need to ask you this. I know, but I need to ask you. In your culture, during the burials or the commemorations of the death, after the burial, we have to spend 40 days and then people will gather to pray. It's a system that we expect the spirit of the person is the day that is flying away from you. But within 40 days, is still with us. Do you people talk about the wrong, the mistake, and the bad thing the person has done, the person who has died? Do you do that on the burial or on the how do we call 40 days and anniversaries? Do people talk about the wrong and the bad thing a person has done?
Yeah, there are, you know, there are two way when the person is really die, and then people prepare, they meet and they talk about the cause of the death. The gathering is the cause of the death, actually. And that's why you hear sometimes family, oh, they're blaming, oh, it was because of this, if there's not this. That is one step. Now, when the person is buried, people cry. Okay, so they cry because they're not going to see it again. After the burial, there is another gathering that will be done, funeral, and that is when people talk about a lot of things. And in the government, especially when we are talking about army general that die, we actually need to be talking about more than even individual. Why? Is because this is a nation, and we are talking about to improve what they did. We are talking about the vision that is left to whoever is alive and how we can move it forward. So it's not an easy task. It's not about you control what people say about a general because he's your uncle. It will never work. These are politicians. They die because they are struggling for a country, and that's why we are here. And that's why we actually honor them to be heroes. And by the way, we need to judge even to who should be actually be given that title, a hero. It's not every general that died in South Sudan to be a hero. No, it has to be some criteria to judge who was really a hero. And that's why I'm coming to debate with you and with Dr. Ding about actually whether John Garang can be a hero or not. Because some of you don't know it. John Garang actually step us back. He should not be he doesn't deserve to be a hero. And plus now, the anarchy.
Come on, who is the hero?
Yeah, you can see now the anarchy that John Garang left now. How much those people learn from him. Look at
Who do you think is the hero?
Now, all those folks that has learned from him. They are learning about building anarchy, tribal regime. Is that what we want in a country? Come on, man. We have to be honest, man. If that's what we want, then it's like we don't love our country.
Civilized.
Okay.
Hey, brother, don't let listen to me. You know what I think of this today is not only general we celebrated. We are celebrating 2.5 million people who lost their life during the civil war.
That is what I will agree with Madid.
So those are the people. Listen,
right there, you are talking now.
Yeah, those are the people that we are celebrating. So we are celebrating those lives. 2.5 million people who lost their life, and more than 4 million people who are displaced across the continent, including us. Correct. So this is the day that we can remember those. The reason why I'm saying this, brother, because these are the day like this, we need to reflect back the long way that we South Sudanese come along. Because during SPLA, we know that, I hope all of us here who are in this show, some of us are Red Army, and some of us, they are in the military. So, and they join the combat. So the reason why I'm saying this, because we know this day when we come and reflect back and see what SPLA get, because not now how people turn back on SPLA, and they create more party like you yourself. But before that, we have only one party. That's also the celebrates SPLM, SPLA. And this is the party this is the mother of the party that we should apply for today. We should talk about the achievement. The achievement that our people, the SPLM, SPLA, achieved during the struggling movement. And those generals who give their life, die in the front line, whether they kill by Arab, or they even killed one during 1991. During 1991, when the SPLA is split into two, the one that called Nasser faction and the SPLA.
Yeah, Nasser
so these people come back, in 1991. So these people will still celebrate them because they are part of SPLA, SPLM. So this is what we want to come for today. Let's put the differences about the political thing, what's going on right now in South Sudan. Let's talk what happened during that 1983, what the achievement, what the goal, what this general did, and what also too, it's not even general that we can honor them. We can honor them, the civilians who were sacrificed, the mothers who cooked food for this military to eat. Like, for instance, as we have experienced this, when we were in the village, before we go to the bush, the SPLA like corium, twig, when they go first. That the Don Grant tells the military that if you go to the civilian area, don't rob them or don't take anything by force, have them, don't. And in the Dinga, where they say, so simple, because the civilian are the food, cow, goat, everything, so that they can go and fight with Arab. These people, they contribute, we have to honor them. You see what I mean? So all of these things we need to talk today, we need to see who contributed during SPLA, SPLM, struggling during that time. So that's what we want. Let us put the political that's going on right now.
Thank you.
So let's go back. Madid, so that's what I want to tell.
Yeah, Madid, I think I will agree with you here. If we have to talk about the people.
Let me tell one thing.
Hold on. If we have to talk about the people actually who just lost their lives.
Let me tell one thing. Excuse me. Don't Chonga. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Madid, I'm sorry, Dol. Why I say that? The celebration
Yeah, go
always
ahead.
is
Okay,
gonna
guys, I will leave you guys. Go
be
ahead
remembered for the
because
achievement.
my network's bad. I'm at work, so
People,
good talk.
I
Go ahead. I
myself,
will listen.
I will leave. I will leave the show. Oh, I will withdraw from the show because always the remember is gonna be like achievement. He's not going to talk about the negatives. What kind of achievement the SPLM has done during the movement? Why the people? How many people who are sacrificed his life? That's what we are going to remember them today. Did you believe that when we are bored for independence of South Sudan, we bored including for separation, including the people who are need unity? Do you know there are among us now? There are among of South Sudanese. But we will not tell them no. You was voting for unity. But they are South Sudanese. People who they don't want, they are not supporting SPLM. SPLM for independence of South before there are all SPLM members and there are South Sudanese too. Neno kule na del akwana fi tariqa nidal. زي ما قالوا قرن قال نحن نعارف إذا قدر مش وقف فأنت تقيف بمع القدر ولا بيستمر. إذا وقفنا كلنا هناك خلاص نحن وقفنا على الجنوب. ما نحن كلنا دايرين الشمال كله السودان كله. لكن الناس وقف على الجنوب في حدود معين مود القرن والاتفاقية اللي وقعوا ده اللي خلى الناس هسه رجع للجنوب. السودان ده كان المفروض يعملوا البلد كله. فأيتوا لو عايزين على أساس إنه يعني جدل تناقض على الجدل انفصال الجنوب كان بتاع ناس فلان وفكرة ناس فلان وناس فلان أنا بعمل withdraw. لكن لو دارين تعمل لهم celebrate by achievement بتوعهم what they have done during their sacrifice life, the time they have sacrificed their own life for the South Sudan, if you are going to celebrate, I will be with you. If you are not celebrate that, you are going for argument, I will withdraw from the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabriel. It's very hard in South Sudan where whenever we gather and try to have a conversation, our own everything we do, regardless of what it is, ending up being a politics, which is really unfortunate. But I don't think it is a situation that we are going to change very soon. Brother Darlington, like I said, the reality is, whether you don't like the history of South Sudan or you like it, there is always going to be one common thing that there are arrows. There are people actually make it happen. And those who make it happen, Madid have already actually said it clearly. It's not just only particular brand or anybody else that we think is a hero in South Sudan. It's entire population of South Sudan that lost life, whether it is after 70s until 2005 when the peace is signed. What I know, where I came from, my own village, this situation of fighting for the cause of South Sudan, it was done by everybody, including people who are in village. People were actually, it came down to a drop where each family got a chance. If they don't have anybody that has gone to fight for South Sudan, they have to do it by all means. And those who decided to go on their own are not counted. Okay? This is how serious it was. And to fit the SPLA, it was also done the same way. Okay? It was also done the same way by providing the grain, by providing the cow and the milk. are the only way to fit SPLM and SPLA.
Yeah, Peter.
Hang on one second. SPLA did not have resources. They did not have money to actually pay for their soldiers. But it was people of South Sudan, more than me, are the one actually feeding the SPLA. So, for those who have died since 70s or when up to 2015, up to 205 when the peace was signed, they are all heroes. But it comes down to always who was actually the flag bearer. We can always win. We can all be winners. But who was actually the team leader? Who was actually led this? So it's really unfortunate you see it that way. Those who led us were not heroes. If that's your opinion, that's okay. I might not change it, or somebody else might not change it. But you have to accept the fact that yes, we have heroes. These people died for us, whether they were in the villages, carrying Talagat, or by other means, they are all heroes.
Direct, indirect.
I
don't know why to think that, uttering the story, saying, oh, well, John Graham and the rest were not heroes, will make a difference in South Sudan. I don't know.
Yeah, Peter, here, we are going to agree on some term, and we might disagree on some other term. This issue of hero, let's keep it aside, and then maybe we talk about how people contribute in South Sudan. For example, if you are a general in the SPLA, and maybe you went to my village, okay, and in the process of arriving to my village, like what SPLA were doing, you are going to loot for gold, for a cow, and for food. And then, because most of, especially in the eastern where who have gun, then you got shot. You are killed. Are you a hero? Can you tell me that person is a hero? He is not. It's actually doing harmful to the people, because, and that is what the SPLA, the other scenario is that when SPLA arrive in village, they take women and girls, and then they use them for transporting the ammunition and artillery and some of their bag. Now they will take them to maybe a distance of maybe 5 days, 7 days. Some of women actually, like in Bentiu, they were sent to Arab to go and be spies. Now in the process, most of these women die. Are they hero? Is the person commander sending them is a hero? So you see, what I'm talking here is that some of the SPLA things that were done by generals, most of the generals, they were horrible. They are not the way how you liberate the country, because they didn't understand how liberation worked. They were working to actually hold on, my brother. So you see, the way we are dying, 2.5 million that Madid was talking about, most of these people shouldn't have died. We kill ourselves. It's because we kill ourselves. And up to now, is what we are doing is that we are killing ourselves. Simply because we are glorifying people who actually kill us. So we call them their Lord. And that is our problem. For example, Salva Kiir just killed over 30,000 in Juba. Some of you are glorifying right now, he's called a president for killing people. My goodness. Now, where are we going? What country are we going to have? So, my brothers, we are in this country, we are going to have more bloodshed. I'm seeing there's going to be genocide all over.
What does it have to do with that topic, with this topic?
Yeah, it has to do because we are glorifying death. We are glorifying our death, and we call them hero when they should not be hero, actually. It's like John Graham.
Let's have a break. And our break will be a national anthem. Please listen to me. Our break will be a national anthem. Yeah, thank you so much. The break will be a national anthem that will bring all of us together. We stand up with the pride of our new nation. Please join me to celebrate this day today. We don't need to go to.
Justice, liberty, and prosperity shall forevermore reign. Oh, let us stand up in silence and respect, saluting our martyrs, good land. Celebrate our national foundation. We vow to protect our nation. Oh, God bless Southern Sudan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Everyone who is watching this show, come back to the... Thank you. Dominic Makir, welcome to the show. We welcome you. Please join us. Are you there?
Dominic, are you there?
Makir, are you listening to us or you can't hear us? I think he can't. Go ahead, Peter.
It looks like Dominic has a network problem. Thank you, Brother Isaac. It's a simple thing. I think we Europeans, we are addicted to politics, and we always like to have at least a controversial idea. Tonight, my question was just simple. How do you remember these people? How do you remember the Martyrs? And how do you keep the dream alive? And the other question is, do you have to be leader in South Sudan to keep the dream alive? I think John Larkin have one particular idea that if we have to deny all the achievement that happened in South Sudan, maybe that could be another way to have actually to have audience who are actually, maybe I can say, some people who are dissident to this current situation.
Dominic, do you hear us now? Ping, do you hear us?
Yes, I hear you.
All right, then. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show, Lake State Media.
I بتكلم بعربي.
ايوه مرحبا بك في ليج ستيت ميديا. ده يوم الشهداء نتذكر فيها الناس اللي فقد حياتهم في الحركه الشعبيه وجيش الشعب تحرير السودان من يبدا سنه 1955 يوم 18 شهر 8 في توريد بدايه بتاع انيانيا 1 الجا في انيانيا 2 وجاء في SPLM SPLA لحد سنة 2005 زمن CPA جاء في محاته. So this is the day يوم أننا قاعد نفكر للحياة الناس أننا فقطوا في حركة نلقى الدولة جنوب السوداني علينا. فضل مرحبا بك في الآزل اليوم.
I can go ahead. They are with you, Tamam. You will talk from there and there. I'm getting some people make a lot of mistakes. You better return is in Genova, but in 1950. Long time. People, they don't get that. In 1950, you know, we then, but although Lamul group it all, feeding up for Finward forward. Cuba, they are big mistake community, two community women in town. Cuba is PLM, the PI 2013 in Noria Okatir. Noria Okatir for we got Yamachi by President, Martin by President. Kulu Warji, Ajata Nuara, be Ajal return in Nuara. Nuara, we never agree. My SPLM now with a letter. But we have a two tie of what we got Pigavada. Yeah, Nagan and borrow 2.5 million mother. Then what and Dinka? Wagi the Gulu. Yeah, Cuban as Equatorial Yom Dagabum to be mothers of Uganda. But later, much if you from later, when you should be on buying Carbino Panya. Now, there are people try to make up the hide the thing. Yeah, Pidol Tan $18 in. Yeah, $18 in Patpi University. Uga Amo thing they hide a doll with Tawajamitan, what they told it in Garway. Yeah, though never went to school. Who hired a dollar in got Pigava for almost 31 years. Dollar later, Cube the Calamda. But who got now? Yeah, they are Jazin Tanwara. Who bought about the army for one will control with talk the SPLM. Yeah, and in a got Pigava in a J Yamada. Yeah, we know the history of SPLM. SPLM, they united between Pinyanya one book at Pikatunda, Manuare Barana 1975. Yeah, the unity for those people. And Barry Ubenda, Noramu lost something. Norita Cuba and one when one and Cuba Pin one now lost something. Galur young my child, Mundang Yabamul choose a Yaga young my child. And Gulia Jamaga, Yaga Mundang, you bring it to load to my chin, but you, yeah, to my chin, to knock by up with and what. Yeah. Oh.
Shabaka beta kanu kwesai. You have a problem of the network. Yeah, Shabaka ita bakta. Dominic, ana bugulu shukran jazilan وجودك تكون معنا في show بتاع leg state media today. ده يوم لحزيمة لنا كلنا. أي زول الفقط الزولو في الزمن بتاع الحوادث كله ده يوم بتومن علينا. ولكن هنا ما قاعدين نرجع نجي نتكلم بحاجات سياسيا أو حاجات التفرقة أو حاجات العسل قبل كده. يا حاجة أنا قلت لأبكوي اللي هو دول لورجن is a very good friend of mine. We will talk about politics and how we can take our country ahead. I like that. It's not bad. ده ما حاجة بطال. فأنا بشكرك جدا وجودك معنا. وانت قلت كلمة بتاعك علينا والشعب كله قاعد بسمع في صوتك. ده حاجة مهم جدا ونقول شكرا. ونقلب من هنا ونمشي قدام يعني للبرنامج القاعدين هنا. ده برنامج بتاع الشهداء. ده ما شهداء بتاع دينكا براو. ده ما شهداء بتاع نوير براو. ده ما شهداء بتاع إكواتوريان. It's all Sudanese. في الناس فقط حياتهم سودانيس. في الناس من إكواتوريا. في الناس بتاع دارفور اللي كان قاعد معنا في حركة الشعبية وجه شعب تحرير السودان. عند فقط حياتهم. وباي that time ده كان تحرير بتاع السودان. ده اسم تحرير السودان جاب كله أجنبي في السودان يجي يساهموا في حركة الشعبية. فاليوم ده يوم علوم ده يوم تومن. ما دارين نتكلم في حاجات تفرقة بنفسه السودان بقى دولة. فشكرا جزيلا. أنا مبسوط جدا أنت جيت لنا. أنت ورينا your point of view. We will talk about more. We will have a debate about these things in another day, not today. Thank you so much, Dominic. May God bless you, brother. Peter.
Yeah, Dominic. You have a last word to say? Okay, he left. Uh, Thank you, Brother Hijack. Thank you, Dominic, for tuning in. It was nice having you as well.
Thank you.
Oh my Lord.
It's not easy. It's a tough day. We need to be focused on the what we are here today. Is anyway, yeah. Let's have a break. Thank you so much for the viewers and panels. Those who are here, welcome, Dr. Deng Ding, Deng Kamis Garang, Mr. Abram, Madin Majak. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. It's a sad day and also it's a happiness day for all of us.
So much for the viewers and panelists.
I salute all of you.
Thank you so much. You are highly welcome. Come and join the show today. It's a wonderful day for all of us.
Hello.
Hello, Deng. How are you?
Hey, Isaac. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you, my brother. How are you?
Very good, very good. Just saying hello to Peter and Madid and Dr. Dendin. How everybody doing today?
I think I have an echo.
Let me hear you just a little bit.
Try to put your earphone on.
Yeah, I can hear echo. So there is an echo. Something wrong.
Go ahead.
That's not on my side. Oh, okay, now it's clear. I think okay. I just woke up. I came from work. I was actually lay down, tried to wake up early because I know the schedule is going to be today, but I woke up late. So I saw Don Legend and the other. I don't recall his name. The guy, the last one, the last speaker.
It's called Dominic.
Oh, Dominic. Yeah, Dominic. So I'm so happy with Dominic. You make a very good move. That's what we're here today. And I would love John Larkin to be around too. Sometime we are so Sudanese and we want to be on one faith. And there's a different time. And I would ask you if you can bring him back next time. If he's actually have anything burning on his heart, then we can figure out. We can chat with him and try to give him more time. He can explain it why it's so hard for him to go with the flow. We had the same problem this month when we had July 9. It would become a chaos. People are not recognizing that they have a country called South Sudan and they're not celebrating and all that thing. I think that's what happened again today. And guess what? We're not going to stop. We know we cannot force anybody who is not happy with it. But the short message that we can tell our people, it doesn't matter. Somebody died during the war. Those who lost their lives. We did not. Nobody have the data. We don't have the data of them here how they die, but we know all of them they die for the same cause. Like I said yesterday, Akwada Tim and Guy Tut. Yes, sometimes some people don't recognize them, but I myself I do because it was the same cause when they happen to have a disagreement with the Anyanya 2 and the SPLA. It was the same thing that they were actually doing. We have to give a credit to whoever have done a good job. So thank you, everybody, the viewers and everyone around the globe. It's good to remember what you suffered for. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be us. What people have to understand, it's not going to stop today here. Even though we are not going to be here for the next 70 to 80 years, we're not going to be here. Our children will still carry it on. their children will still carry it on because it's a history of people. It will not going anywhere. So let's just give ourselves a time and thank you so much, Lake State, for open up the forum that everybody can come and hear out their heart, whatever they would like to say. It's good to be together as South Sudanese. Everybody is suffering, and we recognize your suffering in your family, and I myself in my family. But what can we do? We have the country, and we have to build it up together. If we don't come together to disagree and agree, we will never achieve anything. But we will still have South Sudan. That's only one thing people don't understand. We don't know. We don't. South Sudan doesn't have to be a tattoo on your chest or on your face or in your arm. It's there in a world map. It's South Sudan. It's going to be there in a world map. Whether you disagree with it, whoever brought it, whoever did not have not been recognized as the hero of in South Sudan, it's still going to be South Sudan. It cannot be put in my forehead here to be one of the cross that they would show South Sudan in my cross on my forehead. So let's just celebrate the little moment that we have before we perish. That's what I can say. And let's leave it behind to our children so they can remember what we went through for. Thank you so much, and we'll turn it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deng Kamis. We appreciate your words you have shared with us. Welcome back. Unmute yourself, Madit Majak and Dr. Deng Ding. Unmute yourself. Yeah, you are all welcome, especially Dr. Deng. We welcome you to the show again. You with me yesterday when I was hosting the show, and you are back again today. So thank you so much. I receive you. And just come and join us, please. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Amen.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Go ahead. Greet the audience and
go. Is it my turn?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hang on, then I will get you in a second. But Brother Marit,
yeah,
welcome to Lady State Media. How are you celebrating a Martyr Day?
Yeah, I have. Thank you, guys. I think my network is really breaking up. I'm at work anyway. You guys continue going on with the show, and it's really good that we can recognize this day. It's a very. You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can. We do.
Okay, so it's a very important for all of us as South Sudanese. Doesn't matter what political you belong, what tribe you belong. So this day is for all of us, for tribe. And I see some of our colleagues, because I interact with some of our South Sudanese in different, when they got their own show, I go to their show and then I do a lot of writing, and we disagree. We are disagree to agree, and that's what I see to our brother Dwalajan. And I see some. Then Kamil did mention a very good point that some of our South Sudanese during July 9th, some of them the Boy Scout July 9th celebration. They say that what are they want to celebrate it for? That means that they give, and now July 30th is come up, and the Boy Scouts, that why we are not celebrating. That means they give their identity. They give up their identity. So if you don't celebrate the independence of your own country, that means that you give up your citizenship. You are not a South Sudanese, you see. And this is what our people cannot understand this. You need to understand what take you out from Sudan before become South Sudan. What took you out? Why you become refugees in different countries. So that question alone, our people should ask themselves that question. And those on July 9, ask yourself that question. And July 30 today, ask yourself that question. So the reason why I'm saying this, we can have a different political background differences. We can disagree with those what's going on. It's fine. But one day like this, we can remember, we come together, we united as South Sudanese. So what we fought was when our people went to the bush and fight with Jalaba in the north during that time in 1983, or go back to 1936. And so hang on, I'm about to.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just play for me a 30-second music.
Okay, so guys.
All right.
So guys, you know,
okay. We know we work.
Anyway,
we just left with just 1 hour, and I will go to work as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll work again in the morning.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So as I said before, because South Sudan is our country, all of us, and we, the SPLA, is a mother of those parties who just get out, no matter what. And you can see when these people who are breaking away from SPLA, they name themselves as SPLA DC, SPLA, SPLIO, you see? Because the SPLA, SPLM is the founder of everything. So the reason why I'm saying, because we are the Yammer, and that's the reason why we say, even though the SPLM, SPLA is broken as it is now, we never give our party out. Like the way people say, oh, I'm giving out my membership. You see? So as today I was watching, guys, if you guys, these people, or those of you who are in the United States, one of the John Lewis, one of the senators, just passed away last week. And today the Congress just came together. They were give the speeches. President Obama came, President George W. came, and President Bill Clinton came. You see, and they give the speech out, and all Congress and Democrat, Republicans, they come together. You see, and they give a speech at their own night, their day for this person, John Lewis. The reason why he's one of the well-known, he's a civil rights movement leader. During 1960, and all of us who United States, we know very well the races in America. Black Africans, they were mistreated by the white people. But they fought hard. Those like John Lewis, they fight us. He was beaten, he was arrested, but he never gave up until the black people were recognized in America, the equal right. They give the right to vote, right citizenship. So all of this, the reason why I'm giving this example, because the most of South Sudanese who have these differences, political differences in back home, because they live in America. Some of them, they are in Australia. But why we can take example where we at and apply to it. But we came as radicals right, because everything that we see in South Sudan is a black and white, or it's a Nuer and Dinka, or Equatorial and Dinka. You see, but what we united as South Sudanese, we cannot see that in nationality that we are South Sudanese together, no matter what tribe and belong. But we are South Sudanese. Let's call ourselves as South Sudanese, and that's where the peace can come in. So for today, we have to remember today. That's the day that SPLA took up arms. Many of us, no matter those people that civilians died, 2.5 million people died. The SPLA general or any soldiers died during that day. We remember them today. We remember those people who lost their life. Those our fathers, our relatives. You see, we remember today. Today is the day that we can put our differences aside and come as Sudanese and recall what happened during when you leave your village to go to the North Sudan, when you leave your village to go to Egypt, when you leave your village to go to Kenya, when you leave your village to go to Uganda, and when you leave your village to come to Kakuma or any other refugee camp until you find your way to come to America or Australia, Canada, or Europe. So those things, our people should understand those, to recall those days on this day. If we reflect back, and then we can find the common ground. But when we have a differences and everything we see is a political, and then there will no solution. So this is my 5 cents that I want to give you guys, because we need to do this. Our people, we are South Sudanese. Let us talk the language of peace, because that's South Sudanese. South Sudan is belong to us all. And the day like this, we honor our heroes, and we call for peace to come to South Sudan. So thank you very much, guys, and I will let you guys go ahead with the show.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your view or point. We welcome you and we say thank you, Abraham Adit, for your words. Peter, go ahead. Give the position to people.
Well, before I let Dr. Deng jump in, I have to respond for just a second to comments to the audience. Sometimes we need to pay attention. Okay?
Yeah, I was about to answer that question too. Go ahead.
While we are not talking about the change of the name of the SPLA, one thing, SPLA basically is the national army. So if South Sudan decided to put the South Sudan army under South Sudan instead of Sudan, that's okay, as long as that entitles South Sudan. Two, the reason why SPLM is not changed, it's a political movement, it's a party name. It could be any, I think, and you could name your party anything. As long as it has Sudan, I don't think it matters what your party name is. It doesn't have to reflect being South Sudan People Liberation Movement. No. That maybe if that's what the SPLA would have been changed, it would have made sense, but then it will not make sense because SPLA is not a movement anymore, it's representing the country. So they are not guerrillas anymore. They are not rebels. They are independent armies. So there is no need, even if you add South Sudan there, to say South Sudan People Liberation Army. Still won't make sense. But the name South Sudan, either Army Defense Force or you are just calling South Sudan Army, it still would make sense. But that's the reason why we cannot talk about why the Army needs to change. It was changed to flag not the rebellion or struggle. Well, that's the country. With the SPLM, the reason is why it is not changing. It is a historical party, and like Maria said, because no matter where you go in South Sudan, take an example, we are hearing the words we call, Dinga are this, Nuer are this, Equatorial, they are this, they are this. No, wherever you go in South Sudan, if you don't have an SPLM identity, you are going to struggle, no matter what. Because people know this is a movement, and if ideology is lost, someone is going to come and change the ideology to correct it, but not to tear it apart. So for those who actually try to get out of SPLM, they are struggling politically in South Sudan, and that's what it is. When you look at how people now name the SPLM,
Are you there? I think the network is cutting. Is anyone hearing him?
No, I can't hear him.
You can't hear him?
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now
Yeah,
it's back.
it was just refreshed. I hope I did not lose anybody. Maybe only Madid. Yes.
Yeah, you were cutting. The network is a bit roughing your side. We didn't hear the last speech of yours, but just go ahead. We heard you.
Oh, okay. Yes, like I said, yeah, you have to be, when you look at how people name their party, take an example of landmark called SPLM DC, and with all this now up to SPLM, real SPLM, when you look at it, you feel like it is the naming of the SPLM that's the problem, but not the ideology of what went wrong in the media. So in reality, like I said, if you don't associate it with the SPLM, regardless of what, you are going to struggle politically in South Sudan. Instead of tearing the country apart because of what happened, we have to fix it as a country. And I am sure those who still remain in SPLM will fix it, and it's going to continue as a great party. And I am sure nobody will say, regardless of what the upcoming next election after the interim period is going to be is not going to be an SPLM, then you are counted. So that's what I was just to respond to the comment. I just want to make sure that I am keeping an eye on the comment as well. Dr. Bay, welcome as always. Let me unmute you.
Yeah, I would love to say something about that comment of that Dr. Ding later.
Yeah.
I thank you so much, Peter. When you answered that, the text that has appeared in the screen for us is even me. I was about to answer the way you answered that, but I still requesting all our viewers and panels that we have to stick to the day of today. Why we are here today. The 30th of July always is we have to commemorate it with the dignity, respect, and love, because we lost a lives of 2.5 million people. So about the political issues, we will be having a time to talk about these things. We know there's what you said about the SPLM DC, SPLM in government, SPLM IO, SPLM what, all these SPLM become the lobas. When you wear the underwear, you don't know which will come under to cover the underwear. Maybe will be a jeans, will be a khaki, will be a suit, will whatever, but it's still underwear inside there. So SPLM will never change. That name will remain there for those who are trying to change it. SPLM in DC, SPLM in government, SPLM, IO, all this stuff, but they all protecting what? Balls with South Sudan. So we will talk about that, not today. Welcome back. We have to welcome Dr. Deng Ding. The floor is yours for today, please. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming me back again. This is the second day. But today I'm going to actually to read out my brief remarks about the 30th of July Commemoration Day. So if you don't mind, can I go ahead and do that?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Dear fellow compatriot, today, the 30th of July, marks the 9th commemoration of our Martyrs Day. First, I would like to convey my appreciation to the Lagos State media team and hosts for organizing today's event for commemoration and honor of our fallen heroes and heroines. Unquestionably, we, all South Sudanese at home and abroad, must give thanks and salute to children, widows, and widowers of our heroes, of our fallen men and women who sacrificed their lives on our behalf. What gives a special weight to this occasion is the exemplary, our heroisms, our martyrs demonstrated as regards their convictions, steadfastness, dedication, creativity, diligence, and self-sacrifice. The special values our martyrs had given us constitute values and systems that characterized our identity and patriotism nurtured during the armed struggles for our independence. Usually, fallen heroes and heroines are paid back through patriotism, national building, and national system, which are our national values. Our liberations would not have materialized short of these values. By the same token, the test of our nation building, which includes national security, sovereignty, stability, and prosperity, cannot be attained short of these values. In the absence of these values, greed, selfishness, corruption, and the like giving rise to turmoil, destruction, and poverty. Hence, our gratitude to our fallen heroes and heroines, bestowing to us a noble legacy of keeping alive cherished values. My fellow compatriot, coinciding with the martyrs' days as today, the current peace agreement, communal conflicts, and heavy rain seasoning, which we are holding serious flooding, especially in Jonglei areas and other areas in South Sudan, need our work and our focus. More importantly, we need peace. In this connection, the issues of paying due attention to the task of implementing peace and developing resources on priority basis is very imperative. Apart from paying attention to the task of putting efforts in our implementing peace and reconciliation, we need unity that will lead us to development of our nation. Though living up to honoring the trust of our martyrs through laying firm basis for all-around national building and national development is a supreme task for all South Sudanese. By living in peace and unity, implementing all-around national development is the best way we can pay back our fallen heroes and heroines. On this day, we need to leave wrong past and implement peace and reconciliation because the president of permanent peace in our country will have us focus on national building. Our national building, building our country is the best way we can educate the children and provide the services to widows and widowers of our fallen heroes and heroines. Commemoration of the 30th of July is an eternal glory to our martyrs and a reminder of our unity at home and abroad. May God always bless and protect the families of our martyrs. May God always bless and unite all South Sudanese at home and abroad. May God bless the Republic of South Sudan. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Comrade. That was a heart-melting reflection, and absolutely, and that's where we want to go as a nation. We have to live up to the dream. The only The only dream die is only when the followers also let go the dream. But when leaders die, the dream remains, the legacy remains, and people have to carry it on. Thank you, Dr. Dale. Isaac, go ahead.
You're very welcome.
Uh, um, Thank you so much. I really appreciate your words. It's really touching, Dr. Deng. It's really unbelievable. And this is where we can identify the word being told to us in the Red Armies and in the barracks that you are the terror. You will be the symbol of the nation in near future. Those days, we don't know what the elders and the people who were in the army were talking to us. But lastly, in the few years to come, we have understood what they were meant and what is going on in the country. So I'm proud myself. I'm very, very proud for those who put their life online for us, and they push us behind. They say that go back, do education. Your time will come. These things will take care of it. So please don't worry. Those people, these are the people we are celebrating their life today. So I really, really very impressed with your statement and your speech that you have given to us. We say thank you so much, and we respect those people who have granted a life for us. So stay blessed, and the all lost boys, the all Jeshamar, and all those who have participated and is still alive in the Harka, Shabia Jeshaba Tahrir, Sudan. May God bless you wherever you are. This is the day we can reflect back and see what went wrong and what is going good. These things we will talk about them in a different day. But this day is the day that we can think of how South Sudan come to be a country, a sovereign nation. So I think if you can allow me, there is a little speech Dr. John Garang has given to Red Army in Peñido before 1992. I mean 1991, before the problem. I can share that one with you.
Yeah, let me make a couple comments before you move on, if you don't mind. So,
yes.
So teman come to teman ini nak fikir.
I want Isaac. Go ahead.
Okay.
Reserve.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, what I was about to say is I watched a couple guys before talking about the same things that they talked about yesterday. And of course, yes, today is the day we have a deep thought in our hearts that we lost our beloved men and women. At the same time, the day that we give them thanks that with their sacrifices, that is why we have our country today. That's why we have what we call South Sudan. Even though we have political differences, even though we have social problems, today is not a day we blame ourselves. Today is not a day we question ourselves. This today is the day that we honor our fallen.
Go ahead.
And this is the day that we appreciate the widows, the widowers, and the children. Okay, thank you. And the children of the fallen heroes and heroines. So I really want to sympathize on my brothers and sisters who may come up later on and talk. I know they may ask questions out of this. They may talk about other things. I really want to sympathize on them, or asking them please to stay away from bringing up social issues, political differences today. And then we have other days we can talk about political issues or social matters. So I think it's very important to mourn for our brave men and women who sacrificed their life for us. until we get independent today. At the same time, we need also to appreciate if there's a way we can bring all the widows, and then the children of our fallen heroes and heroines, we would have actually, checked their hands together to give them appreciation, to give them love. I know they're suffering. They have not been getting all the subsidies that they deserved due to the issues going on in our country. So it is a day that we celebrate, and it's a day that we deeply thought in our hearts of the loss of our beloved women and men. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Isaac, before you play that speech, Dave, okay, go ahead. I think Deng have muted himself. Go ahead. He said he was going to respond, but go ahead. Go ahead, Isaac.
All right. Yeah, I thought that you need to ask Deng, and I can just share a video with you. It's a very good one.
Yeah, go ahead, share that video. I'll come after the video. Let's watch it.
لازم يشوفوا ونفتح مدارس اليوم عشان يعلموا ويكونوا مستعدين يحاضروا للمستقبل عشان احنا قلنا قبل كل جيل عنده مسؤوليه كل جيل عنده مسؤوليه بتاع بلد والدور بتاعكم بيجي عشان تاخذ المسؤوليه ده عشان تعمل المسؤوليه ده كويس لازم تحاضروا لازم تعلم لازم تكون مستعدين عشان تحمل مسؤوليه بتاع الجيل بتاعكم شكلها مسؤوليه بتاعنا نحن الجيل ده الجيل بتاعي مسؤوليه بتاعنا ده عشان نطلع بلد عشان نطلع بلد نعمل دشمان عشان بلد يطلع ويكون عندنا حريه المسؤوليه بتاعكم انتم الجيل القدامي ده عشان تبني البلد نحن بكسر السودان القديم هنا بكسروا فلاتات ابو السودان القديم هنا بكسروا قطع وقف كله
Kubijanga koryom garang epinyo koti iser gol bangarang pantiti yin gol bangarang kumi biya bating baden gache ka wenga burjo adi ko ngi chamawu pana wenga burjo adi ko chamawu jigafel dindie ke bagaloy ke ba kalwang mi pin wel chunya nyal billa jongong vera
Thank you so much. I really look forward and admire the speeches that Dr. John Garang has given to the Red Armies and his vision, and the vision of our all leaders, those who have really who are no longer with us. That's why I took this day very seriously, because these people, they were having a very strategic vision that has took us, even me, to be in the Western world today. Without the vision of John Garang, I couldn't be here. Maybe I would have been dead or doing other things in a separate world. So I'm just bringing this audio and the video to share with you people, to remind us, because we are reflecting of what has happened and how the South Sudan came to be an independent country and what has happened. So my brother Deng Kamis, welcome back, please, and join us again. It's your turn now. Thank you so much, and I'm really impressed for this day.
Thank you, brother Isaac. I'm actually back. And thank you, Dr. Deng Ding, you made a very impressive, um, outstanding speech. That's what we want. We have to be, uh, we have to be focused. It doesn't. We don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell us. Yeah, the time that we were actually told to do something is past, and this is the time we are actually to step up and tell other people what to do. Those who are still not actually in position to express themselves like the time we used to do. Back to the video. Yes, John Garang said it himself. Um, we have to be ready. And how long are we going to be ready to take the lead? And how long do we have to be ready to send out our country that we are a new nation that we fought for a long time. Now we got what we fought for. How long do we have to wait? It's now the time we're talking. That the time we have to tell our people that somebody we got what we were actually looking for, and what happened today? Political crisis. We're not going to stop it. That's the number one. It would take long for us to stop it. It's going to be a little while. And we don't have to be hesitated to say we have South Sudan. South Sudan is not going anywhere. So the message there was toward the Red Army people that were actually did not know what they went there for, what they were being taken away from their parents to go and do. But they were actually tracking us down, trying to teach us a little bit to do, and we went through. We can say in that English, we went through hell, but we get out the hell. We are now in a good shape. We are in somewhere in building our country. So for us, let's just take it easy and try to do your part. We have to live in peace, and peace doesn't have to be. We're not looking for the peace from somewhere else. It's among us, within us. We have to bring peace to ourselves. Yes, you can disagree at some point. You think that the way the country is going through, the political parties, how they run the country, but it's not that crisis. It's everywhere, even in the West where we live now. They do have the same, and they're not even they're not tearing their country apart. They just play their different differences. Back to the question was my brother Deng Ajong was saying why the SPLM the SPLA was changed. The SPLM is not changed. The SPLA is the one that changed. The SPLA was the party that brought independence as a party, and the army was actually called SPLA. Despite the differences that we had, the different armies who were actually there fighting north, some were fighting south. And what we have to do as a country, since we have a country, we have to have a unified name that everybody would believe. If we want to say the SSA, the South Sudan Army, it can work still. And this thing it's not easy to do. What I can say, I myself, we still have a room for the SPLA. That's only what I can tell my brother. We still have room for the SPLA. If we want to, if we want to name any division, the SPLA division within the SS PDF, it can be there. But the SPLA is not. We're not in the party of North anymore, and people were not fighting together at the same time. They have a different opinions. We have to recognize the other people's opinions and put the army together. So my response is the SPLA It's not abandoned. It's still, we still support it, and it's going to be historical name forever. Whether it's going to be changed, things change. The name of the army can change anytime. Only the party, even the party, the SPLM can be changed later. If the SPLM party recognize that the name of the SPLM is not marketable anymore, they can change it to something that they think that is going to be marketable, that people will attract the whole country to support the party. So those are not the issues. They are easy thing to be done. The problem, we are not being part of the government, so that's why it's so easy for us to change it when we're outside. But when you go in there, you find a different people and have a different opinions, and those opinions have to be accommodated. So I really speak that long, but let's keep the spirit of celebrating, the spirit of recognize our suffering, the spirit of recognize our gift. The gift we got, what we went through, we have it. And for us to, since we have it, we have to let other people know that we have our country. Some people did not know. Even today, when you said we are in the West, when you said I'm from South Sudan, somebody will say, "Oh, are you from Sudan?" You have to struggle to to add South into to Sudan. So this is a long way to go. But the really good thing, when somebody historian, when they go there and look into world map, they will see South Sudan is there. So let's let's try to put things in an easy way. We can that we can build our country. It cannot be built. It's not overnighting. And we have another thing that is very important. ABA is a problem to us that we don't know. But we keep focus on the thing that we already win. We want South Sudan is there. The problem is ABA. How are we going to win ABA? That's another issue. This generation have to step up. We don't have to go back to war because of ABA, but we have to win it politically. But if we don't recognize that we have something missing, then our problem is not going to be solved, and nobody is going to solve it. But I myself, I'm not. I cannot say I'm going to solve it, but I believe in my heart, if I have a chance, and one of my brother and sister that have a chance, we can bring this together. We can bring peace to South Sudan, and we can bring ABI back, because now it's still hanging. Nobody focusing on ABI anymore because we have our own problem that's fighting ourselves. So I took long time, but it's a politic. I know it's politics, and we have to separate them sometime. Let's just give ourselves a time. Whoever want to celebrate, let's go for it. And you have a different opinion, please, tomorrow, try to be fair, and we can go step by step why you disagree and why you agree. And then we can solve those problems one and for all. So my people, my brothers, that's what I can say. Let's be happy. Our people, we're not crying anymore. They died for what we were looking for. They are the winners. They won. They won what they fought for, with their life gone. But we are here. We are still representing them. So I feel like I myself, I feel that they won. They did not lose. If we didn't have any country called South Sudan, or we were back to Sudan like what Anyanya one did, then we could we should be bitter about it. That's why we're here and we're not winners there. So thank you, and I'll leave the floor. I'll let I yield it back to you. And anybody want to put a comment when it's still going on? And oh, there's somebody here doesn't know where the link is. I don't know if he's gone. Oh, I think he's gone, and he was asking to be joined in, but I told him to click the link there, but I think he doesn't know where it is. So anyway,
Yeah,
I'll leave it there.
the link will be played for him to come in there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan Kamis. It's a very impressive statement. Back to you, Peter Kenyi. I have to take the floor again.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Isaac, Brother Dan Kamis, and Dr. Dan, as always. Gentlemen, this has been a great evening. I think I'm about to wind down. If if we want to continue, then I might let Isaac continue. But I think
No,
we enough.
I'm going to work now. I told you before. I just left with 8 minutes. I have to leave the 8 minutes now.
Okay, so that's a good call. So let's make sure that we use that 8 minutes for all of us here.
Okay.
Dr. King, you have a last word, please. Or Kamis, you have a last word?
Well, I just want to say
Let
thank you very
let
much for
Dr.
hosting the
Deng
event.
go. Yeah.
Bless you. I just want to say thank you very much for hosting the event. God bless you, and may God bless the Republic of South Sudan. Thank you very much for the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deng. As always, we applaud your presence, please.
Brother Kamis?
Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to back to talk anymore. It's just I would just want to say thank you for the show, and let's keep the spirit of unity all the time as South Sudanese. I would ask if you are from other ethnic in South Sudan, please come in sometime, and we will not people that are hosting show. Nobody is going to dictate your opinions. Just come and try to explain yourself why you have the differences, and we will go ahead from there. There's no time we are waiting for. We are here now. It's a time for us to work and bring our people together. Let's live in peace. Sometimes let's forgive what happened in the past and try to find a better way to live. Thank you. Yeah, you can put the music on now, so we very good music, so we can exit.
Thank you so much. Now back to you, Peter. If there's any music or nothing we want to play, we can start with the Salamazika. This is the military song that we cannot forget.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mujahideen Al-Kram. Welcome you, and we thank you for participation, being with us in this very grateful day, being hosted by our brother Peter Kane. Thank you so much, Peter Kane, for hosting this great show, and it's a great day for all of us that is giving us a blessing. We have to remember those who put their life for the sake of us to be where we are and to be who we are. So thank you. I appreciate that thing, and I have no words to say how I can appreciate everybody who participate in this topic, and yourself. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you, Brother Isaac, and also I would like to say thank you to all the viewers and the panels who have joined: Dr. Dave, Tamis, Dominic, Darlarjin. If I had to call all of their names, if I miss your name, glad. Um, every single time I will try to repeat this so many times and again that uh, the the idea that what the late state media is trying to achieve is having a conducive environment for all of us as South Sudanese. Uh, your opinion is your opinion, but if we can have a conversation, we will have a solution. Tonight, I actually I want to thank Brother Deng Samin. We are fighting for over what we have achieved. We have achieved South Sudan, but yet there are things that we have not accomplished that we should have focused on. And one particular was the issues of again. With that, we know as a late state media, our focus has been uh, whatever will silence against and support the peace that it has been first priority, and we feel like we are on right track And when that happens, I think we will be able to talk about other issues that are actually not covered. With that being said, we have it is a pleasure and honor for me and rest of my colleagues who are actually reflecting on this day. Without this day, maybe some of us wouldn't have been here today. Maybe we would have not had a country that calls South Sudan. Who knows? Some of us would have been Mohammed Ali or whatever it is if we still all Sudan. And yet, uh, that cause reflect today where I can decide which religion I want to believe in. Uh, I can uh, I can celebrate my traditional without being told you have to be abided by this law, and that's what this day is for. Those who started it and end it are our heroes, regardless of how you want to uh, call them or how you perceive them. Whether you consider them they are not heroes, that's up to you and that's your opinion. We don't have to agree they are all heroes. Each individual has their own perspective on how they actually perceive who is hero and who is not hero. The same thing to our thinking ideology has South Sudanese, no matter what, even if we brought Jesus today, not all South Sudanese are going to agree South Sudan is on right track and South leaders of South Sudan are doing the same thing. I would encourage our brothers to at least uh, rise up to the call. As an individual, what can he do to South Sudan? Like uh, President Kennedy said, you have, uh, ask for don't ask for what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Though I have not expressed it exactly what it is, but that's what it is. As a South Sudanese, we have to ask you a question and do what we can do as individuals before we talk about our leaders and experts. After all, uh, no one is actually free from issues of South Sudan, including all of us here in the West, because we call them and say, "Oh, if it doesn't act, make it act, well, why not have?" And till then, I want to say, I will see you guys next time. I would like to encourage people to join Isaac and Brother Agar in Australia. Next State Media is going to be live on probably 24/7. We have all the spot day fill up, not like when we were struggling, trying to see maybe 2 days, I mean a week later, 5 days later. So I'm sure you guys already are getting used to Brother Isaac as a member of our host team. So please tune in tomorrow. Probably he's going to have show and also tune in over the weekend because we are going to cover all the day.
Thank you so much, Peter. I just want to let our audience know the next few hours, which is at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time of Australia. I will be hosting a show here to interview one of the candidates who is trying to get into the position of Ministry of Finance of Lagos State. The guy is called Matiang Mayong. He will be with us here in Lagos State Media tonight.
We already have people laughing for this proposition. So the brother is laughing. So this is very interesting. I would encourage people to tune in to see who is this guy actually.
Yes, that's the reason. If you stand up, I need everybody to come on board. Ask him questions. Who is he? Where is coming?
Why would you want to be a minister of finance?
Yes, yeah.
So we are sick of corruption, or maybe we want to accuse him before he gets to the position.
Yep, that's right. So it's happening tonight. It's happening tonight at 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Time. you have to Google where you are and calculate Australian Eastern Time from where you are, and you will get us live on
Okay.
the show.
So
Yes.
basically, we are 12. We are 14 hours difference. I could. It's probably about 2.
3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5. No, the time now is 2 now. Is it?
So and 10. So it's 2 hours from now. So about 2
It's,
a.m. from now.
it's about 8 hours from now.
8 hours from now.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably by then we will be awake.
Okay.
And
Uh,
and
I
and
will be
then
I will be very happy if you join us, Peter Kenya, and the rest of the team, to be part of this show, because it's very interesting, and I need you, because as a host, I wouldn't be giving more questions rather than the audience and the participant to ask him the question. So your presence will be highly appreciated if you come on board, please.
absolutely, I will try to pop in. I might be working, but I will try to pop in and to have questions for a brother. It's very interesting. It's it's one of those situations that I never had someone love it to be given a position, especially when it comes to term of money. Is
Yeah.
uh, so people, I encourage you. This is really a great show. This should be a great show.
No. Thank you so much. Now take the floor. The closing is within your hand. How you gonna close up? It is up to you. And I say thank you to everybody, our participants and those who have been with us on the panels and the audience who have been watching us. We say thank you so much. This is a very respectful day for all of us. We pray for Almighty God to bless the soul of those who lost their life from 1955 up to 2005. Their soul should be rest in peace, because some of them, they died for something that they were not deserved to, but because of the war and the insecurity and all this stuff, they die through hunger, bullets, sickness, and all this stuff. I still counted you are a hero of the country. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I salute every single South Sudanese in this day. Thank you so much, brother. Take over. I'm out.
Thank you, Brother Isaac. It was nice seeing you. Again, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Keep the spirit alive. Make sure you don't shy away from discussion, uh, because when you shy away, you are leaving your voice and you become a voiceless. So keep focused, do what you can do as individuals, and make sure your voice is heard, and that's what we are here for. Until then, I would like to say have a good night or a good morning from wherever you are, and thank you from bottom of our heart, and good night from all of us here at Lake State Media. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye bye. And in my video, what happened?